Hey, gorgeous! Welcome to the Business Mindset Podcast with Holly Wharton, which combines powerful strategies on how to upgrade your business mindset along with practical business tips to grow your business. This podcast features solo shows with Holly and also interviews with inspiring women entrepreneurs from around the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. And now, here's your host, Holly Wharton.
Hello and welcome to the Business Mindset Podcast, episode 174. This is your host, Holly Wharton, and I'm here with today's special guest, Maria, also known as Gentlewhispering. Maria is an ASMR content creator on YouTube.com who has been making creative relaxation videos since 2011. Gentlewhispering has become the most subscribed ASMR channel with nearly 800,000 subscribers and over 240 million total views. The channel features over 270 unique videos, 70 of which have surpassed 1 million views, including the most popular ASMR video of all time, exceeding 16 million views for just that one video. So welcome, Maria.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
So
Absolutely my pleasure.
Yeah, so excited to speak with you today because I feel like you've had amazing success on YouTube in a fairly short period of time. So why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about what ASMR and how you got into it?
Well, ASMR is Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. It is a wonderful tingling sensation. It feels like waves or like sand is being poured on top of your head, and it trickles into your spine, into your shoulders, into your limbs sometimes. It's usually triggered by certain voices, accents, deliberate tutorials, for example, when a person is explaining something to you. Also by personal attention, such as when people brushing through your hair, cutting your hair, or doing a makeup tutorial on you, for example. And it's a wonderful, tranquil, like state of mind that you get into. And it's a response to wonderful sounds that relax you as deep as you can only imagine. So it's quite a pleasant sensation, and I'm one of those people who have been experiencing that sensation all my life. So at this time, I try to spread the word about it as much as I can, share my knowledge with the world, and hopefully seeing where it can lead us.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about how you started your YouTube channel, because I know you had kind of a false start in the beginning where you put up a video, didn't get very many views, you took it down, and then kind of started fresh a few months later.
Yes, that's correct. Overall, my business journey as it is has been very unexpected to me, has never been planned by me. It is a hobby that has turned into business over time just because of the growth that it has achieved. Originally, I found a small whisper community back in 2009, and it was very, very tiny, just a few thousand people all over the world. And it has been a very, I would say, strict community at that time. And while I was watching the videos, I have felt incredible benefits from me just listening to these videos for a couple hours a day for a period of a couple months. I have literally felt like I was much more patient. I somehow matched the vibration of the slow speech and quiet mannerism and things like that. And it helped me lower down my vibration and think clearly for a very long time. So it killed my anxiety completely, which was a great thing for me at that time because I was struggling with that. So after a while, after about a year of just being a viewer, I have noticed that there wasn't enough for me, if as selfish as that sounds. And I thought that maybe I could try and bring some of my own ideas into this community and see if other people agree with me, if they enjoy it. So I started including different testing videos, different sounds. I tried to grow it as much as I could because I was just so passionate and so excited about what it could be. I saw all this potential for the community to become larger and incredibly well known and benefit that many more people out there. Because of how much benefit it has given me, I felt like I needed to give back in that sense. So I started creating videos. I made the first video. It was not a success. Within a month, I got maybe 2 views, no comments, and I was very frustrated. So I just took it down and I thought, maybe that's not for me, maybe. But then after a few more months, I decided to try it again. Just with different triggers, different approach. And it became very popular unexpectedly. And my channel just started snowballing from there. So I was very blessed to start in the beginning of the community growth and just keep growing with it as it grows by itself too now.
So how did you get those first views on that second video you put out? Because obviously when you put your first videos on YouTube, you're kind of at the mercy of people just kind of randomly stumbling across them unless you put them out there to the community. So how did you get those first views?
Well, once again, in the beginning, the community was very, very small. So there was not enough of creators at that time. So whoever was watching these videos, they would type in ASMR and there would maybe be 5 videos per day uploaded for this particular community. So it was just not enough of categories, not enough of people uploading of it. So people needed to continuously come back to the same creators. And in the very beginning, I was posting daily, every day for a few months because I was really on the roll. At that time, I was so excited. I had so many thoughts. So I just kept throwing everything out there and seeing if something will stick, so to say. And a lot of people really had a great feedback for me. They saw the growth, they saw the potential, so they kept me going. They were cheering me on, suggesting different things. So it has been very crucial to the success of my channel.
So you went from posting daily to now, 5 years later. How often are you posting or producing content?
I do my best to post weekly, but because it is a very engaging, very creative type of work, it's a little harder sometimes if I'm not in a good emotional state myself. It's very hard for me to create something and give back the quality that I expect from myself to be giving to my viewers. So sometimes I do take breaks and I could be absent for a month, sometimes for 2. It's very unfortunate business-wise. It's not the best strategy, but I do have to let myself be free creatively that way. So I just allow to take as long time as I need to create the good quality product and giving anything.
Excellent. So I think a lot of people within the community would say that your videos are kind of some of the best quality videos out there. So how did you learn how to balance between quality and quantity?
For me, it's always been the feedback. I read every comment there is. Sometimes they're not positive. I try to lower my head, humble myself down, and trying to still listen to the person even if they do not agree with something in the video or they don't enjoy it. I try to see their side of view too. And I think that's one of the things that has kept me going for a while, is to know how to take criticism and not be upset at it, and instead work that into the creations as well. So I work great under pressure like that, which is not a good thing probably, but I have noticed that people pointing out what they enjoy the most and what they don't enjoy the most have shaped all of my videos into something that they are today. I just simply read what they enjoy the most, and especially if they have more likes on certain comments, I really sit down and think it through. I think of what I can do in the future to include more of that or remove that, and just little by little it shapes the videos of the future, so to say.
So how would you say you've changed as a YouTube content creator over the years?
I definitely have grown into a more confident person, much more compassionate person as well, because especially in ASMR community, we get people from all walks of life, and people just pour their hearts out and tell you how wonderful you were in their life, and they say it with the most sincerity and just with the most genuine selves in the messages. And when you read them, you hear the person's heart speak to you directly. And it's a wonderful, wonderful sensation. So it always keeps me going. It's a great interaction within people, and it gives you purpose. Hear exactly what the person's going through. I hope that answers.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned having grown in confidence over the years. When you were first starting out in this channel and building it up, did you have any fears or blocks or kind of personal stuff coming up for you around your ability to do this?
I guess in the beginning, I was afraid that what I am doing is not going to be accepted well by the society. Maybe people are just not ready for that yet. And some people are still not ready for it. And I had to deal with a lot of criticism, not just for being online, which is something that comes with the territory. If you're online, people will hate on you and people will love you as well. So it's always both sides that you get, but also in a ASMR community, it's also a not fully understood community and oftentimes mistaken to be, fetishy, and pardon me for saying it. And people think that it's more sexualized. So it has been very hard for me to deal with because this is not what I bring up in the video. So that has been a hard time for me to work. especially knowing that my parents know about my videos, and just the level of intimacy that sometimes I show in the video could be mistaken for something more sexual when it is not.
Yeah.
This is not what I intend to share with you. I think our society is a little bit not fully understanding the level of intimacy and sexual intimacy between humans. Some people are just uncomfortable with that level of intimacy. So that has been difficult for me to work with as well. And just letting myself be whatever it is that comes out when I record the videos, and just giving my warmth to the people, so to say. And again, knowing that some people will not understand it was a struggle, but also just realizing how much help I give to others really keeps me going.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because you get that clear feedback from your community about how much they appreciate the work that you do.
Yes, that's true.
So one of the things that you mentioned was kind of the online hate and negative feedback that you can get sometimes. And I think that's just, as you said, part of existing in the online world. How did you overcome, whether it's fears of looking at your comments, or because I think so many people, especially women who want to get into the online world for business or for a hobby or for whatever, are so afraid of putting themselves out there and being really visible because they don't want to get that kind of negative feedback. How did you deal with that?
Most of the time, I just try to come back to my purpose. I try to always write down my purpose from time to time. Sometimes it could change and shift, but most of the time it is the same. So I need to know the value that I bring, the value that I have in myself, and exactly the reason why I'm doing this. And every time I read something negative or go through motions where I'm just more sensitive towards negativity, I make myself go back to the place where I try to remember why I'm doing this exactly. And also, you have to grow a thicker skin nowadays. Again, being online, you just have to be ready for it. It will be hard no matter what you do. You can never please everyone. You have to keep reminding yourself that. Most of the time, the feedback that you get is maybe 10% negative, but then you have 90%, which is positive. You just have to learn how to balance yourself in between the two. Also, I have been fortunate to grow gradually as a channel, as a personal line. I know that some overnight sensations have been hit with reality check probably much quicker, and I cannot imagine how stressful that might have been for them, because I have been growing maybe a few thousand first a month. Now I'm growing about 20,000 subscribers a month additionally. So it has been gradually growing, which is a blessing. So I never had to deal with overnight sensation kind of feeling. So I learned as I was going. I learned how to read certain comments, how to point out passive-aggressive comments as well, because those are happening too. They might sound like positive, but it's not. It is not a compliment. And you have to just keep yourself grounded. If you need to step away from the feedback, you step away and just deal with it that way. It's going to be hard. You have to deal with it.
That's a good perspective. So at what point did this hobby turn into a business? Because at one point you were able to quit your full-time job and just live from your YouTube channel. How did that happen?
Well, it's actually a very blessed story for me, I want to say, because again, I never expected to be a business owner of any type. It has never been my motivation to create any income even from this at the very beginning, just to be honest with you. When I first found the community, I was again blown away that it was a thing online, and I was just so excited to be a part of it. I just felt like I could give so much of myself into that, and I was doing so good. So for the first year and a half or so, I was doing it just as a hobby. There was no income at all driven through it. I just did not see the need for that at all. I just felt like it was my sharing of myself with the world, so to say. Unfortunately, on the second year of my channel, I was going through personal hard time in my life and was going through divorce, and I found myself in a much weaker financial situation where I just had to support myself some other way and just bring in more income. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to survive on my own. I have, again, family in the United States by myself. So it was a very difficult situation for me, and I have realized that I need to take the next step and monetize my hobby. And it was a little bit because it was going against my original values. But again, the situation was that I had to take the leap. Otherwise, I would become homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Not an option. I knew that I had to take care of myself at that time. So I started monetizing my videos. And on the second year, since I had to pay taxes for income, I decided to create a corporation. I went to an accountant, and I still have the same accountant. She's a wonderful Russian lady as well. So she helps out with a lot of different tips, and she mentors me in a way. Again, that's how I had to make it into actual legit business.
Excellent. So what are your primary streams of income? It's YouTube ads, donations, your iTunes albums?
Yes, as of recently, I started putting up the recordings on iTunes and Google Play and such, and I'm actually thinking of creating just exclusive on just audio files too for purchase in the future. I try to diversify nowadays as much as I can, just because I know that I need to grow as a brand. I need to create more solid analytics for myself and better strategies in order for me to grow the brand, because it's just something that comes with time, and you just understand that you become bigger than what you ever expected. So you have to take business perspective and really move and drive yourself there without losing your purpose, of course. So yes, at this time I monetize my videos on YouTube, which is the advertisements in the beginning of the videos that you watch, as well as again iTunes account that I have started and hope to increase in the future with more exclusive stuff. I think that's about it for now. For now, that's it.
Excellent. So, Maria, what would be your top tips for someone who wants to create a YouTube channel and, hopefully grow it to some level of success? What are your top tips for someone starting out?
I would say find the purpose. That's number one thing, 100%. Without the purpose, without the knowing exactly why you're doing this, without having passion for that purpose, unfortunately, it will become stale after a while. You really have to find a core thing for yourself that will drive you even after a few weeks of you doing this, after a month, after a year, that will keep you going, knowing that this is the reason why you're doing this. Purpose is number one thing for me. And if it is to drive money that bring yourself income, that's fine too. But with just that ambition, it could die off. I'll be honest with you, because you need to progress from the place of passion. On YouTube especially, pretty much in everything in life, I think as well. You need to believe in what you're doing, and then the income will come. It will just come eventually. I think everybody will agree with me. It just comes along with it, as for as long as you're doing it with love, from the place of love and passion for it. So that's number one tip that I will give you, is to remember why you do this.
Excellent.
And from there, and of course, listening to people. Not be afraid of hearing people. Actually, pay attention to what they're saying. Pay attention to every comment and see what they say, criticism or not. It's all your feedback. That's how you grow. You have to listen. From the neutral place, you have to hear it without feeling hurt or embarrassed or ashamed of what you do, for example. You just have to listen with your heart and from a neutral place.
That is one of the things that I think is so hard for people to do, but that is such excellent advice, because it's the negative feedback that's going to help you grow.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Thank you. So, as your channel has grown, you've started a second channel, which is kind of for more personal vlogs. How did that come about?
It's actually very interesting, because unfortunately I still don't have too many friends in my real life, and I'm a very, very outgoing and very bubbly person. I need as much communication as I can get out there. So there came time when I just felt like I should share myself more and be more honest about who I am. Because on my ASMR channel, you see only side of me. It's the deeper, more calming, more tranquil person. It's the side of me that does not come out as often in real life. It might be here still in the background as my personality, but it has definitely shifted into a persona online. So I felt that I just needed to be honest and show myself as a human being as well, to show that I'm still going through struggles, through knowledge, through learning, through all different types of things. And I just wanted to share it with people and maybe make friends that way.
I love it, because your videos on that channel are so open, so kind of unfiltered. You just recently did this really lovely video where you were crying in a forest about the beauty of nature. And I'm a person who spends a lot of time alone in the forest. So to see someone else have that kind of response to being in the woods was just, I loved it. You're so open on that channel. So how did you get comfortable enough to really just show it all?
Again, just coming from the need to share. I just need to share. I feel like just bursting with a lot of just love that I want to share with everyone out there and just show myself as I am, as with all the flaws, all the bad sides, just show that we're all human and we're all connected. We're all the same deep inside, and we're all weird and we're all kind of crazy on some levels. And that's totally cool. And that's great. You don't have to be, because I feel like a lot of times online, people just share with you only one side. And a lot of most famous people and the most popular people, I feel like they don't open up in the real way, like raw experiences that we all experience every day. You have to show more of that so people don't feel like they need to be closed-minded and more tough and things like that. You have to show that being vulnerable is a strength, it's not weakness. So that was one of the most important things for me, that I wanted to just be as open as I can be and just out there right in your face. So you either love it or you don't, and that's totally cool.
I love that, because I think a lot of the top bloggers that I've interviewed on this podcast have said that opening up and being vulnerable was one of the keys to their success, because it helped people connect with them in a way that they hadn't connected with them before when they were trying to be all perfect. So I think that's a really good point about the strength of vulnerability, because it helps people to connect to you on a completely different level.
Yes, I agree. It also kind of eliminates the people who are just not there for the right reasons for me, for example.
Yeah, exactly. If they're expecting everything to be all perfect, well, life isn't that way.
No.
So, Maria, do you have any ASMR, this is such a hard word for me to say, ASMR artists that you would like to mention and kind of give a call out to, so our listeners can maybe check them out as well as checking out your channel?
Yes, definitely. I think one of my favorites, all-time favorites, is Emma Whispers Red.
Yes.
She's absolutely amazing, and I'm friends with her. I speak to her all the time, and she's just a one-of-a-kind person. I don't think I've ever met anyone like her. She has just the most calming presence, the most incredible stories. Just her perspective on life is something that I strive to have more of in my life too. She has this incredible, like, calming, grounded female energy that you just want to keep feeding off. She's definitely my role model in many different ways. I'm also big friends with Heather Feather.
Yep.
She's a wonderful, bubbly person. She's very smart, very sensitive as well, which is something that I really enjoy and appreciate. She finds her strength in being vulnerable as well, and I can really appreciate that too. I'm big friends with Ailey ASMR Requests. I think she's incredibly talented. She's very driven, very passionate about ASMR as well, and pushing it out there into the world. And I have the most respect for her. And I've been friends with Massage ASMR, Dimitri. And he's a male ASMR artist, which doesn't come by too often.
No, it doesn't.
Which is a shame, because he's incredible. I feel like he's a saint on some level. He has been so much help in my personal life. He gives without any thanks or just without any attachment. He just gives. And it's been incredible to see just how much energy and like vibration you feel from him, even just through Skype. He just helps everyone around him, and it's incredible. I wish to be that way too one day. So these people have been really driving me and inspiring me in different ways. I've been blessed to be surrounded by people like that.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people find you online and learn more about you and your channel?
My main channel is youtube.com/gentlewhispering. It is an ASMR channel that can help you fall asleep or just drift off or just enjoy different beauty of sounds that you might not have expected. And the other channel is Sassy Masha Vlog on YouTube as well. And you can find me also on Facebook. I post there from time to time as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to talk to you about your channel and how it's grown to such amazing success.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for listening. And remember to visit hollywharton.com/174 for the show notes on this episode. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to the Business Mindset Podcast with your host, Holly Wharton. You can find more information about today's episode, including links for topics that were discussed at hollywharton.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to head over to iTunes and leave a quick review of this podcast. It just takes a minute. Thank you.